Hello. So today we'll revise uh, the unit 2 on informatic systems. What we have seen in this informatic system, we have seen complex systems. So first we'll start with complex systems. So in this complex system, we had discussed about definitions that how the system could be related to interdisciplinary domain and that could be modeled as a complex system and that could have power grid, transportation, communication system, social, economical organization, organism, life cells, and all these things are being modeled into some complex system, and that could be studied with the interaction between the components and interaction of those system with the environment. Then the complex system was being inherited from the reductionism concept of old time that the system could be the part of multiple component that are having interaction with them and that aggregated result was being generated by the several components working together. So what are the basic fundamental property of the complex systems like non-linearity, that the systems are non-linear in nature, polynomial degree of equations are formed, emergence property means working together shows some property, spontaneous order that the interaction would be ordered or disordered, it depends on that, adaptation would be there, that mutation and self-management, self-organization would happen according to the changes. Then feedback loops are there, that input being called out again and again. Then what are the disciplines that are related? Statistical physics, that like probability, mathematics, all these things of approximation are related to the some complex systems and study of that complex system. Information theories like communications, signal processing, all these electronic and non-linear dynamics are being related to the complex systems and that they help in the study of those complex systems. So the non-linear dynamics means equations are being plotted that actually replicates the changes and variables are being measured over time and space. Then we had seen the discipline like our computer science was how it is related to the complex systems. Then sociology, social behavior, understanding of social patterns, and these type of things are also related with complex system. Then social network analysis, social structure or network things, biological concepts and living organisms are related to the complex systems. And how the graph theory could help in the understanding of complex system. Complex system could be modeled into nodes that are representing components or entity, and edges were the relationship between the those nodes and actually components. So it depicts the collection of object and relationship. For example, in persons in the organizations, logical gates in the circuits, genes in the regulatory networks, and there are various other entities that could interact with each other. So these graph theory being defined like this, that you have already studied vertex, edges, nodes, links, and undirected graphs and directed graphs are possible. You have studied all these things in fundamental course of graph theory. So graph are being defined like this. Then network theory is basically applied graph theory. So particular domain could, like they say it as a network, like social network, like computer network, but in fundamental the network what it creates could be modeled in form of mathematical uh, discipline like graph. So graph theory have and network theory have various theories like graph coloring, like matching, routing problems are there, like minimum spanning tree, traveling salesman problems are there. So the graph and network theories have various theories like network flow, transportation problems are there, shipment problems are there, various critical path analysis problems are there. There are PERT chart that could be modeled and to be studied that we had studied in part one, that how the transportation could be optimized, transshipment problem could be optimized, critical path means process flow should be optimized with the help of PERT chart like thing. Then you have various applications like computer network, biology, technological network, brain network, climate network, and social network. So we had seen a small that examples of that, like graphs could consist of electrical power aspects, like transmission line could be plotted in network, biological network like protein-protein interaction. All these type of network could be created in biology. Operational research like logistic network, social network could be created. And computer science actually most popular were link analysis in World Wide Web. So all these things, computer network are being created. Then after that, the social network analysis, that the patterns of the social entities and in the organization or groups or website. Then the complex system representation could be of based upon the graph theory, edges, vertices, and links and nodes and relationship between those components. Then the representation could be based upon linked list analysis or adjacency list that actually forms ordered list, and you have the undirected graph could be presented. So the adjacency matrix could also be possible to represent the complex system that actually have the rows and columns that and could make the equations and matrix based upon the variables that we are explaining. Then the multi-layer network analysis representation are possible, that there are multiple networks of a system could be created. Single network is easy to analyze, but there are multiple networks also for a system could be created. Then analysis of them. Then dynamic changes in the entity relationship, component relationship need to be analyzed. Co-occurring network structure could need to be studied. Then thereafter we had studied about in introduction about software system. So what is software system? We had discussed that computer product and all these things attribute a good soft of the good software. We had discussed what is software engineering and what are the software specification development and software evolution, how it happens. What is basic difference between software engineering and computer science? So computer science basically deals with larger aspects, but software engineering deals with the soft computing, like softwares, like the various programming details and larger project of softwares. Computer also deals with hardware. Computer science also deals with hardware. Then the difference between software engineering and systems engineering, we have seen software engineering is a part of computer science, but systems engineering is a large aspect of the whole interdisciplinary concept. Then software products, how they are like generic product, or they could be customized product for a particular user. And what are the specification and differences between the generic product and customized product? Then the essential attributes of the software systems are like it has to be maintainable, dependable, it has some particular security aspect, efficiency should have to be there, acceptability should have to be there in the software. Then we had also studied various constraints and various specification requirement for developing the software, the technical process and project management that we had discussed in detail. Then the importance of software, what are the importance and how should it is dependent on the other organizations, and many organizations are dependent on this type of softwares. So the cost of that software project analysis is also one of the important thing. Then what are the software process activities we had seen, like development, validation, evolution, specification. We'll discuss these things in detail. Like heterogeneity means multiple computers are multiple systems are being connected together, that computer devices, mobile devices are connected to each other and they are operating together. Then business and social changes need to be managed in the new software. Then the Security and trust issues are also there. We all know about them. That scale, that how large number of users could be handled by the software. Then the diversity, that how software should be universally acceptable. What are the methods and tool to develop and deploy this with different customer requirements? And what are the types of the software? Software could be standalone application, interactive transactional based application, embedded control system applications. And batch processing means large amount of data are being collected and doing the analysis, batch processing. Entertainment systems are there. So various modern televisions have different softwares in them. Systems for modeling, simulations, all these things, scientific and engineering aspects are there. Data collection and systems like data science and artificial intelligence are dealing with the data analytics for the sensors and various other devices that are generating data. Then systems of system means multiple softwares and the other kind of engineering systems are being connected with those software systems. Then it makes systems of systems. And what are the fundamental of systems engineering? We had discussed that understanding the development process to make the system dependable or performance would be better. To have understanding and managing the software specification and requirement is the part of software engineering. Then reusing the older software and make the software reusable. All these are the aspect of software engineer. Then internet-based softwares are also there. That web technologies are there, web resources are there, local web systems are there. So web services is one of the domain that actually deals with some part of internet software engineering. Then cloud computing is now coming up very fast, that provisioning of various services running on the cloud. So you buy only the software that you are using. Web-based software engineering, we have seen how the complex distributed system on internet and those websites are being managed, and they are also like a software. So software development also have there. Software reuse should also be available on the webs, and incremental and agile development should have to be there on the web-based systems. Then service oriented system, like the service should have to be as better as possible for the SOA model. So the implementation of all these web services and service oriented architecture are the part of software engineering. Web software engineering, rich interface like HTML5 and Ajax are now being used for better web browser responses. Then we had discussed some part of database systems. Like database systems have the principle of collection of interrelated data. It sets a program for accessing those data. The environment should have to be convenient and efficient. Then the database system should be able to manage the data with high valuable efficiency. Then relativity of the large database system, it has to be better accessible by the multiple users, and applications are there, and it actually needs some time to do all these things. Then modern database system actually models some complex and large data sets of the softwares, and database actually touch all the most of the part of our lives. The database application are like sales, customer, product, and purchase are there. Then accounting, payment, receipt, and assessments are there. Human resource management, information for the employee, salary, payrolls. Then manufacturing, management of production, inventory, orders, supply chain. All these things are being managed with the database systems. Then banking and finance, customer information are being managed, account, loans, banking transaction are being managed, credit card transactions. So all these things are being managed. So financial systems like sales and purchase, financial systems are there for the stock and market analysis. Then university also have registration, grading systems. All these things in the back end have the database. Like airlines have reservation and schedule. Telecommunication have the text and data monthly billing for the prepaid or postpaid card, or calling tariffs are there. Then web-based services, online retail marketing for tracking customers, and online advertisements all are there. Document databases are there. Navigation systems are there, like train, like road. Google Maps are there for this type of. So all these things in the backend, they have the database. So what are the purpose of the database systems? First purpose is to avoid data redundancy and keep data consistent. Means the database actually avoids data redundancy and inconsistency, and it makes files that have to be very consistent. Then the difficulty of accessing those data should be made easier is the task of database system. Then data isolation is the property that various multiple files, they have to be kept separate, how to manage them. Integrity, that the transaction should be properly done or not done at all. So these type of properties are being managed by the database systems. Like the account balance, it maintains very properly that this amount has been deducted, that only reflected on the database. And atomicity, updating that this the the failure should not leave the system in inconsistent state. So atomicity was there, that either the transaction should happen or not happen at all. Then concurrent access, that multiple user want to access the particular account balance, but they have to be maintained in the proper way, that the concurrency should need to be managed such that no inconsistency would be created. Then security issues are there, that no one could get into the database and change it according to itself. So the security should have to be there, computer security, network security, etc. And university database, that small example that we had discussed, like the database actually have the part like student, instructor, and classes could be there. Then adding the new student, new instructor, new course could be the part of the database system. Then registering some student courses and generating class. Then generating computer graded point average like result. So you can view the data in the different aspect, different level. Like data models are there, data abstractions are there. Means data model means how you relate the different data relationship and how do you create some consistency, and these type of tools are there. And data abstraction means hiding the internal detail of how the data is being stored, that how the memory is being managed for storage and making it efficient. All these things are being hidden from the by the database systems. Then the data modeling, that you model the data relationships. And semantic means management of understanding constraints you model. So entity relationship model are the diagrams, like object database data model are the diagram. There are some modeling languages like XML, network modeling, hierarchical modeling. So this is the example of relational model, that various columns are being there in the database, various rows are in the database. So this is the two tables and two relational database, that there is a relationship between the two tables. Now we'll discuss. We have already seen that operating system in detail. We'll revise it. What was that we discussed? We discussed the operating system definition, that there is no single definition at all, and it's basically intermediate between the computer and hardware, and its purpose is to execute user software and make the user system convenient to be used. Hardware should need to be managed efficiently. All these property we had seen. So the computer system basically have this structure, like hardware is there, CPU, memory. operating system that we are discussing, which actually control and coordinate between hardware and software. Then application programs are there. Thereafter, we discussed users, that user have people's machines and computer that are using that applications or program. So this is the fundamental model of the computer system components. So this is how the components of computer system are being interacting with each other. That user are using computer applications, then operating system is managing hardware and applications. Then what system operating system should do? It depends on the viewpoint of the that user. Actually, the fundamental was to make user friendly and good performance and resource utilization. And the computer system actually provides you mainframe or mini computer, both type of it depends on the resource allocator or control program, hardware management, and all these things in detail. Then you have workstation, what you call workstation. If you have a dedicated computer for a dedicated purpose, you call it a workstation. And servers are there, basically mobile devices are there for smartphone, which actually manages, like for the Android and iOS nowadays, touch screens are there in them. Then we had discussed various interfaces are need to be managed. Terms of operating system covers many roles. Like nowadays, operating systems are also in televisions, video games, and control systems. Basically, this came up from the computers of military and military purpose that need for management of resources and program control. Operating system definitions, like there's no universal definition. So the program which always keeps on running in the computer is kernel. Other than that kernel, there are two other things: system program and application programs. Thereafter, the purpose of the other type of software is like middleware, means communicating with the multiple machines for the integration of those multiple computers together. Then thereafter we had discussed about bioinformatics systems. So it is combination of informatics and the biological domain. So that actually made bioinformatics. Informatics deals with digital coding and languages, but bioinformatics deals with study of biology along with the informatics, means digital coding and specifically for the biosystem. So you develop softwares and algorithms and do the storage and analysis for a particular biological purpose, collection of molecule data, DNA, protein sequence. This is all belongs to the bioinformatics. So computer basically have the essential for the nowadays for the molecular biological study for amino acid analysis, protein interaction, protein structure. All these things are being managed. Then you have DNA sequencing, and sequences of the genetic algorithms are being generated that actually needs efficient bioinformatics system. And molecular interactions are possible to be studied on medical engineering. So in there are NMR and X-ray machine which actually generates the software based some network structure that you can study with the help of bioinformatics domain. So the network analysis takes place for the relationship study between the metabolical things and protein interaction. Bionetworks could be like gene regulatory network of molecules. Then various gene expression, protein expression we had discussed. That named entity recognition, protein interaction, abbreviation recognition. We had discussed all these things in detail. Like system biology is a separate domain or discipline that actually deals with the computer simulation of cellular subsystems. And this system biology actually deals more towards the biology and less towards the computer science. And This system biology is more related to medical line rather than the bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is more related to computer science rather than of uh, medical line. So this is the difference between them. Biointeractions, we had seen that there are various kind of biointeraction written over here: DNA, protein, gene network, biomolecular interaction, etc. So these are being plotted into node and links and edges, you can say. So how the interaction are being done. Then we had seen that example of amino acid visualization into the graphs and human hemoglobin analysis, and bioinformatic databases are available online that you can go and study. And social systems, we had seen some fundamental things about how the social systems are there, that patterns of relationship between individual group or institutions, then what are the stable groups, and the individuals social systems are being interacting, nuclear families are there, communities are there, then cities, colleges, and campus corporations are there. So the social economical status like race, religion, and society are there. How to model these social systems based upon the digital age offers the new kind of a study in the social system. How the digital data set over the data set are being studied for the behavioral analysis of that social system. We had studied that social media platforms like Facebook and Twitters are being generating social graphs and social networks for social system analysis. How the social media has been behaving, this is a kind of a study that we do in the social system analysis, response of various events, social network behavior. And social structures are kind like patterns of social arrangement in the society structure that are related to groups, various set of roles and functionality, meaning. And there are various examples are like family, religion, laws, economics are there. So all these type of economical system, legal system, political system study and pattern behavior of the society institution. And we had also seen how this has been modeled in the practical way in the social network, because that have the three type of study basically. One is the individual level study for the social actor, that then the dietic means two actors are being involved, then more than two actors are being involved. All then the social network analysis could be modeled for the structure of society analysis and global and local patterns analysis, local influential entities that are there. The network dynamics and patterns structure are the properties. What are the disciplines that are relating to the social network? It is psychology, sociology, statistics, graph theories. So these are the combined to form the social network. Then studies are like web, group affiliation, all these type of studies are there, interpersonal relationship, etc. Various, many of them. Then the three level of analysis we have seen: micro level means actor level, dyadic means two relationship between two individuals, triadic means relationship between three individuals. Then macro level means the interaction of the larger population, and then the meso level means between micro level and macro level. Social web is a kind of a social uh, world wide web. They are actually creating social web that is part of web 2.0, like online shopping, education, gaming, that actually makes user friendly GUI for multiple users to be communicating with each other. There are social rule systems theory available for various norms, laws, regulation, taboos are there. So based upon the family, community, market, all these things are being rules are being studied for these. So there are various domains. Then thereafter we had studied about the service oriented systems. What are the service oriented systems? So service oriented system, basically these four domains actually been relying on the services technology. in the web services technology like grid computing, that mother of the most of the distributed computing that we are seeing just now, that cloud computing, which is one of the famous for convenient and on-demand resource computing, utility computing, on-demand pay-as-you-go model. It's similar to the very similar to the cloud computing. Service-oriented computing, where web services are being used remotely. We have seen the analogy between service-oriented computing and object-oriented computing, object-oriented programming, we can say. So where in the object-oriented, APIs are there and classes are there. In cloud services, web services are there. Atomic unit of object-oriented is method. In the web services, operations and parameters are the atomic unit. Then abstraction level are interface in object-oriented. In the abstract level, web service descriptive language type of things are there. Then web services which are based upon SOAP and WSDL. So it's interoperable machine to machine communication between the WSDL. Like SOAP messages are there for HTTP based communication over with the help of XML. So WSDL and SOAP are being written in the XML and the packets are being transferred. Then the stubs, we had studied that marshalling and unmarshalling process takes place for the packet transfer over the computer network, like marshalling also known as serialization, unmarshalling also known as deserialization. Then we had studied how this happens in the web service architecture or web service systems. Like SOAP message first marshal or serialize the packet and SOAP request. Then it goes in the HTTP protocol. Then unmarshalling takes place at the server for the SOAP request. Then the computation takes place in the server, and the SOAP is being responded by the server by marshalling. It means combining the result. Then it goes on the HTTP protocol, and then unmarshalling of the SOAP response will take place. Then we had discussed about the representational state transfer, means REST APIs, like web www web resources are there. So documents and various document files available on the URL should need to be managed. Then web 2.0, like web resources are there which are having generic and abstract entities, and social computing resources are available on URI that could be accessed by URI or URLs. So what are the payload formats are there? Like there are various way to accessing them, like with the HTML or XML or JSON. There are various hypertext links that are being provided from resource transfer from one resource to another resource. So the software architecture, this is REST is one of the software architecture style of web services. Then RESTful architecture-based style web services are said to be RESTful web services, which are interoperable communication between the computer systems. And the request and response would be done for the contextual or the textual basis between the web resources. Then there are, this is basically stateless protocol, and which actually have standard operations. Like RESTful API have HTTP operations which have get, had, post, put, patch, delete, connect options, trace type of fixed type of operations, and it's have the ability to reuse and manageable because they have the fixed set of operation. But in the other part, SOAP web services actually have different set of arbitrary set of operation, means they could have any kind of operations. These are the fixed operation, like getting some of the resource which is available, posting some of the resource like images that you post on the Facebook or Twitter. Then put means replace that edit on the post that you want to do. Patch means updating that post which was already there, and then you delete the post. So all these things are available options on the HTTP methods of RESTful web services. And web-oriented architecture, we discussed that how it belongs to the software architectures and combination of www, REST, and SOA. Then we had discussed in detail about the web-oriented architecture, like integrated web links or hypermedia for forming the web architecture. That actually the objective of this is to standardize some API or user interface that could have that could make easy for doing the identification of resources, management of the web resources, self descriptions, and various hyperlinks and the hypertext management and application neutrality over the internet. Then we had discussed about the cloud systems. So we had discussed that these are the fundamental parts of the cloud system, that stakeholders are there, deployment models are there, public, hybrid, or private. Features are there like virtualization, scalability, and elasticity. Then we had various delivery models like software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So the private means for a particular organization, public means for general use, for the public use. These type of cloud are there. Hybrid means combination of public and private cloud. So this there is one more like community cloud, that multiple community want to create their own cloud. So this is community cloud. So we discussed about detail about the virtualization. There could be many kind of virtualization, means imaginary resource creation of the larger system or a smaller system. So hardware virtualization or platform virtualizations are possible. Application virtualizations are possible. Memory virtualizations are possible. Network virtualizations are also possible. Then we had discussed scalability, that it is dependent on different things have different techniques for doing the scalability and at different dimension. The property of scalability is like multiple users, that thousands of users are been using. So how much scalable your website and web technology is. So there are various characteristics which actually been dependent on defining the scalability, like computer network, algorithms, protocol, programming. Then scalability actually deals with need of deployability and how it is static or dynamic at a scale. And the architecture for elasticity, like vertical scale up or scale horizontal scale out, means in vertical scale up you keep on adding resources to the single computer, but in the horizontal scale out you keep on combining multiple machines together through some network or some softwares. Then hypervisors are there to create virtualization, and hypervisors are there for this purpose. So there are two type of hypervisors, like type 1 and type 2 for the bare metal deployment and hosted. And we had discussed all these things in detail. Then there is a conceptual reference model for the five different parts or actors of the cloud, that is cloud consumer, cloud provider, cloud broker, cloud auditor, cloud carrier. We had discussed about all these actors in detail, and then we had discussed about how the cloud stacks are being similar to the operating system stacks, like application layer are there, middleware layer are there, operating system layer are there, which are having different angles of view from the cloud provider and cloud consumers. So the cloud consumer and cloud provider have different type of a consumer, like SaaS providers are there, platform as a service providers are there, in infrastructure as a service provider are there. Similarly, the software as a service consumers are there, platform as a service consumers are there, infrastructure as a service consumers are there. So there are various models of billing for the software as a service, platform as a service consumers, and various models are also there. Various reasons for billing the infrastructure as a service consumers. We had discussed all these things in detail. Then we had seen ubiquitous computing and various other computings. So Mark Wieser actually defined it that multiple s- smaller or larger devices are possible that could have the computing anytime at anywhere with different location, different devices in any format. And edge computing was a new technology coming up, which actually brings data or the computation near to the user. This is the objective of this distributed computing paradigm, that is edge computing. It actually improves the response time and saves the bandwidth. For example, there's instant data processing happens at the edge computing. Content delivery network and content distributed network is a whole area of a study that examples of them are Akamai CDN, Facebook is photo stack, and cloudlets. Basically the purpose is to save the resources of some lower level of device that actually these devices have low battery and they have low, so they need to bring the data center, means large data center, to be installed near to those devices. So large data centers are being installed near to those devices, and those data centers actually have large batteries or large resources, so they could actually request the cloud in outer world to get the data, and then that data was being transferred to the lower computing device. Then we have resource intensive or interactive mobile applications available for them. Then fog computing means it is the part, and it's the part of cloud computing which actually makes an edge computing, means bringing that uh, resource of computing and data near to the user. And that fog computing is actually the making sensors or all these things nearer to the cloud user. And then internet of things, famous one, that various things are being connected to the network and internet, like sensors and various devices are being connected, like home appliances are there which are connected to internet. Smart city devices are being connected to internet, so they creating too much large amount of data, that is creating data information explosion, data delusions. So they need real time data analytics for analysis of those data sets. We need a larger set of data processing also for them to be processed, that much large data. Then you have virtual conferencing, like we are doing virtual conferencing. Webcams are there, microphones are there, speakers are there, web conferencing are there. Web 2.0 is the main reason made part of the virtual conferencing, like Google Meet, Skype. Multiple communication could be possible with many sender and many receiver. Webinars possible, webcast are possible, podcast are possible. Then virtual events are being possible with this. So virtual events are like having multiple sessions and online events happening. So they have a similar experience of the physical meeting. Like they have the live streaming of an event happening online for the interacting virtual event like a physical meeting. So there are issues like echo of voice we had discussed, like videography logistics are there, audiography logistics are there, network bandwidth should be high. So the virtual degree distribution at the convocation could take place, like at with virtual addressing could also be possible. Then virtual avatar, that could be like 3D games that can move and walk and discuss with others could also possible. Then he can go to the some poster and see that poster in detail, and he can discuss with each other with some communication, move and talk to different person at different locations, so they can dance as well. Then hybrid event could be like physical event as well as virtual online events, like that convocation could be virtual as well as physical. Then we had seen distributed version control system on GitHub.